I yield myself as much time as I may
Gentleman
consume.
from Indiana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Here we go again. For the first time in history, Democrats have complete control over a select committee. I hope the American people are paying close attention. I hope they see what happens when Democrats get total power. They abuse it. They intimidate, they threaten, and they harass. And they try to put their political opponents in jail. In a matter of weeks, the committee has passed 3 criminal contempt citations. Today, we vote on holding Mark Meadows in contempt of Congress. On September 23, 2021, the Select Committee served former Congressman Meadows a subpoena for a sweeping set of documents and a deposition. In October, President Trump instructed Mr. Meadows to maintain his executive privilege in any response to that subpoena. Mr. Meadows then told the Select Committee that he would give them any information they requested that wasn't protected by executive privilege. Mr. Meadows gave the Select Committee over 6,800 pages of information, including 1,100 documents and 2,300 text messages. Mr. Meadows agreed to sit for a deposition if it was limited to areas not protected by executive privilege. He tried to cooperate, but the Select Committee didn't care. Mr. Meadows even sought an independent ruling on the question of executive privilege, but the Select Committee voted to hold him in contempt anyway, just like they did with Mr. Clark, who offered to participate pending the Supreme Court's decision in Trump versus Thompson. Apparently, the Select Committee's rules go like this. Ignore the former president and don't wait for legal rulings. Immediately do everything that we say without objection, or we will refer you for criminal prosecution. They don't care about fairness or due process. The point isn't cooperation or fact-finding. They care about punishment. The point is prosecution. And of course, the point is the headline that they're going for. Former Trump Chief of Staff found in contempt of Congress. But that headline omits the ugly and partisan truth about the Select Committee. According to the committee's charter, H.Res. 503, quote, the Speaker shall appoint 13 members to the Select Committee, 5 of whom shall be appointed in consultation with the minority leader. But the committee has 0 members appointed in consultation with Leader McCarthy. And it doesn't have 13 members, it has 9. According to the committee's charter, if Mr. Meadows had come in for a deposition, the minority must have been allowed to question Mr. Meadows for the same length of time as the majority, except no members of the committee were named by the minority. This isn't nitpicking. The Supreme Court has found that a Select Committee must follow its own rules to act with legal force. So we have the Select Committee as it exists legally and on paper. And then we have something completely different. I don't know what to call it, but it doesn't resemble the Select Committee that Democrats voted to pass on the House floor. It's just 9 members picked by Speaker Pelosi. The group is trampling on America's constitutional rights and the rights of the House, or the rights of Congress, like Mr. Meadows and current members of Congress. They even include Americans whose sole offense, according to Chairman Thompson, was planning a legal, permitted, and First Amendment protected political rally. Thanks to media reports, we know that Democrats have seized their enemies' call and text records, geolocation data, and personal contacts. We know of hundreds of instances. It could be more. All we know for sure about this partisan investigation is that it's massive. It's happening without accountability, and it's happening in secret. The Select Committee should serve as a warning to all Americans. This is what you get when Democrats get free rein. Secret snooping, harassment, contempt for the rules of Congress, criminalization of dissent, and it all ends with their opponents in jail. With that, Madam Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves the